Iowa State today, 15-point favorites in that game. But we're going to start with another top 10 matchup, and that's number 8 Texas heading to the Phog Fieldhouse to take on the number 3 ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Jayhawks a 4.5-point favorite at home against the spread. You can get Texas on the money line for plus 144. Some nice value there. The total is 137. Both these teams only with one loss coming in today. Kansas is 8-1, the 2-0 in the Big 12, 4-4 against the spread, 3-5 versus the over. For Texas and head coach Shaka Smart, they're 7-1 on the season, 1-0 with their only loss to Villanova a few weeks back, 4-4 against the spread, and again 3-5 versus the over. These teams very similar in their matchup against the spread, and it's going to be an interesting one today in Lawrence. Kansas, their only loss this season is to Gonzaga in the tip-off game down in Fort Myers, Florida. 102-90 to the Zags in that game. They're coming off a nice another top 10 win over the West Virginia Mountaineers, 76-65 in that one. Ochai Agbaji, David McCormack, and Jalen Wilson have formed a pretty dynamic trio for Bill Self this year. It's been a little bit of a different season for the Jayhawks. Of course, they lost Udoka Azubuike, a huge presence for them down low last season as he went to the NBA. But they've replaced that production pretty well down low with McCormack and Wilson. For Texas, it's been a pretty big season for them. Of course, 7-1, like I mentioned so far. Great start, winning the Maui Invitational with wins over Stanford and North Carolina. Played a really good game against Villanova and have looked good so far in their one game in Big 12 play against Oklahoma State. Last time out, getting Andrew Jones on the wingback has been huge. Of course, if you don't know his story, leukemia survivor, battled cancer, beat it, and now is back and putting it up for the Longhorns. But probably more important has been the emergence of the freshman power forward, Greg Brown. That's going to be the big matchup to watch down low, is McCormack and Wilson for Kansas versus Greg Brown of Texas, as well as their offensive facilitator for Shaka Smart and the Longhorns in Matt Coleman. Now, looking at some of the trends, Texas is just 1-13 straight up in the last 14 games against Kansas. They're 4-2 against the spread in the last 6 total games. So Texas has not necessarily had the most success against the Jayhawks, but they have been able to cover in recent times. Meanwhile, Kansas has been historically dominant at Phog Fieldhouse. Everybody knows that. You don't go into Lawrence easily expecting a win. However, they are 0-6, the Jayhawks are, against the spread in the last 6 games at the Phog Fieldhouse against the Longhorns. Meanwhile, if you're looking at the total, the under has gone winning in 5 of the last Texas-Kansas's games. And so when we look at our best bet for today, you could lean Texas plus 4.5. I like that. Kansas money line, I think they win. I do think Texas covers, but my best bet for today's action at noon is going to be the under 137. We're going to take that. Both teams play very slow defensively. Texas is ranked 238th in the country in tempo, according to Ken Pom. Kansas at 210. Both teams very efficient defensively as well by the Ken Pom metrics. Both top 7, Texas at 5, Kansas at 7. So we're going to take the slow tempo and the defensive battle in the Big 12 today. Texas covers, but the best bet of the day, again, that's the under 137.